New West Community Television talks to the executive director of this city's Arts Council, the umbrella organization for many arts groups.
For every community, its character is defined by its culture, and the arts in this community is very prevalent. There's lots of activities, there's lots of events, there's lots of presentations, there's lots of theater productions, lots of exhibitions, and people are very proud. There's a strong sense of place in New Westminster. People are very proud of the art that comes from this community. Of course, we have a long history, being one of the first cities in this province of that people connect to, and a long history of people creating within this community too. So I feel like our work is carrying on that tradition, maintaining what has already been built and established, and growing it so that more people can enjoy their everyday life within this community. So it's a small town, but it's a very potent town. It's a strong culture, and it's a great community to be a part of.
So now, how has this COVID isolation impacted the council?
Yeah, COVID-19 and the spread of the virus and the social distancing measures has really come out of nowhere. And, or at least in terms of our community, we, of course, were tracking this as it was spreading around the globe. But the social distancing measures were very rapid. I remember getting my first email on March 6th from one of our member groups being like, "Are you developing any policies around this?" And by March 16th, our art gallery was closed, and all events in the city, arts events, were being canceled. And so we've seen Royal City Musical Theatre, who traditionally produces a massive musical theater production. This year it was Crazy for You. During the month of April, has now had to cancel that. We've seen art galleries close. We've seen exhibitions canceled. I was working on a literary arts event at the library on April 4th and 5th, featuring local literary artists. It's been canceled. All the performances that we've had, music and otherwise, dance, has been either postponed or rescheduled. We're not yet sure what's happening with summer programming. But what we have seen, and I think is a positive, is a lot of artists embracing digital platforms for new forms of creative expression. Whether that's live streaming or whether it's broadcast recording, we found that people, as they've moved their work lives online, they've also taken their consumption habits of the arts online too. And so people are engaged in learning and spreading the word about all the amazing artists. The direct impact that we've seen, and I have one staff member who does work at doing set design. You know, she said within 3 days, it was just email after email after email of all of her work canceled, all these events done, and her livelihood beyond working for us taken away from her. And so we're seeing artists directly impacted. So the government is obviously offering lots of funding and support, but we have artists who are impacted today immediately and choosing between food and rent. You know, we talk a lot about supporting low-income people and those that are sort of on the margins of our society. And I think we often forget that the large majority of those people are artists that are using creative expression to help them with their mental health and to help them in their daily lives. I mean, I think we have this idea of like rock stars and movie stars as like your traditional artists, but for the vast majority, especially here at the community level, this has had direct impact, like immediately. And it's quite difficult to work through, because of course it affects everyone differently, but I think the same in the sense that there's a large emotional impact for all of us as we go through these social distancing measures. So it's been, you know, I've been doing my best to reach out to our members. We've been hosting the New Westminster Cultural Roundtable to give people forums for expression, to be able to say, you know what, this is really hard, and I'm not having an easy time with this, because I think people need to hear that. I think people need to have an honest opportunity to express themselves, and sometimes the unpleasant things too.
Is there anything else that the Arts Council is doing to try and help these people with their livelihoods?
The Arts Council has really shifted because our work has been programming based. Our biggest work was through our newest craft program and artisan fair down at River Market. We were actually facilitating events and activities for artists to make a living at. we've had to now shift to more of a service-based approach and to highlighting the artists within our community. So we've had the Arts NW podcast for the last 5 months. We've decided to continue developing that and highlighting artists that live within our community. New West Craft was not able to participate in a physical sense. And so this past Saturday, we hosted a virtual market where 35 artists and vendors using Instagram stories and Facebook stories were highlighted for their work. And we linked to their online store so that people that were interested in supporting like a buy local and support local campaign were able to connect with these artists. And the council itself is looking beyond that to try and find new ways to support our arts community. We have had higher levels of government, both the federal and provincial levels of government, commit funding to the arts, to artists and arts organizations to support. And we're looking for our municipality to continue that with its arts grants as well. But the council is looking beyond that to hopefully in the near future be able to support artists more directly. So that work is ongoing, and I'm optimistic that we're going to be able to have some real direct impact in our community.
So do you have suggestions for people in the community in general about how they can maybe connect with these artists? I mean, I understand that you're putting on some things like, I unfortunately, I missed the craft fair, but putting on these things. But how can people kind of look up these people and perhaps, get things that
I mean, the intention needs to begin with buying art and supporting artists and recognizing that whether it's a painting on your wall or we're paying for tickets for a live stream, there are artists that are still creating and presenting and putting things online and making things available. So it really begins with each individual person's intention to support local and to support artists that live within our community, knowing that money is staying and keeping people alive, sustaining their work. The Arts Council's website, acnw.ca, is the main resource for our artist directory and our artists within the community, where you can find out more of the arts-based businesses. There's a lot of art schools that have shifted to taking courses online. So if you have children that want to learn, whether it's music school or dance, these organizations and businesses have innovated, and there is still ways to support the arts in that method. But the Arts Council itself is a charity, and if you're interested in just making a straight donation to the arts with a cash donation, you can certainly do that through our organization, and we issue tax receipts, and that money flows through to artists.
Right. So any message for the community in general, again, that you'd like to pass on?
Yeah, I remind people that just how rich the cultural fabric is within New Westminster. I think it's really important that we continue to support the arts and our cultural activities, and really be considerate in your purchasing power in what you choose to buy and what you choose to support. But know that it's the community members in and around you that you are supporting and that are benefiting from what you are looking to do as in supporting our arts community. So artists live and work here, and we're among you. So please do consider us as essential as we know the arts to be, as it permeates every aspect of all of our lives.
Thanks so much, Stephen. That's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care.